In this episode of my podcast, I just want to talk a little bit about the potential of day trading that a lot of people misses. You see, the thing is that most people just want the certainty and therefore they do investments or long-term investments, which in itself is necessarily not a certainty because businesses can go bankrupt and also because the market moves in cycles of about maybe 7 8 years where it goes up and down. But the fact is, day trading in itself has a high potential for whoever chooses to do that, both the day trading as well as the swing trading. You can say that if you look at history, years ago, trading on the stock exchange was only for banks and financial institutions. It was not really for private people. Private people could just go to the bank and say, "Oh, can you buy me some stocks?" And that will be it, basically. But nowadays, everybody with a computer can open a brokerage account and can actually trade stocks or futures or CFDs or whatever the product is directly, more or less, on the stock exchange. So that means that basically you have a potential for profit every single day accessing the stock market. And this is just something that wasn't there 25 years ago, but is there now for everybody. And I think that a lot of people underestimate this potential. I mean, of course, it's a potential because there is no certainty that you are going to make money in the markets, but it's a potential. And that potential can be exploited by taking yourself the time and the energy to actually learn the craft of trading. Um, but historically, it has, how do you see it, been for both banks and financial institutions and the wealthy people. But now you actually have a possibility where, I mean, common people with a regular income can actually access the market, and they can also access the market through leverage. And you have to think of it like this, because at the end of the day, everything is a price. I mean, if you go to work, you have a salary, and that's a price. And this can only get up if you have a union who can negotiate these things. The price of gasoline or whatever, well, those prices go up and down on a regular basis, but this doesn't benefit you, and your salary only benefits you if you say the salary goes higher than the inflation does. But when it comes to trading specifically, you can actually profit that price of something is going up and down. You just need an edge, a methodology in order how to do it. And I'm from Denmark, and here in Denmark, if I go to my bank, they will give me like 0.015% interest rate on my normal checkings account, my normal savings account. I mean, this is ridiculously. They say to me, if you lock the money for 12 months, like a year, we can give you 2% interest rate. And for me, this is just, I mean, it's ridiculously because I can make 2% on my account in one day trading the stock markets with my methodology. And that's really the crazy part, that a lot of people completely misses that. And you don't have to make 2% every day in the stock market. I mean, if you can make 0.5% or 0.25% every day that you choose to trade, it's going to make a hell of a difference. But even smaller steps could do it. Basically, let's say every time you allocate some time, let's say you allocate 1 hour, 2 hours for trading, you can turn on your computer, wait for whatever signal your method produces, and then take that trade. And it doesn't really matter, how much you make on that trade, because accumulated over a whole year. Let's say by average you can do, let's say 50 or 75, maybe 100 trades per year. You're still going to get so much more interest rate than your bank is ever going to give you. But of course, you can also build your own business, but this requires a lot of capital. It requires a lot of work. So creating a business, of course, is another way of extracting money and making your money work for you. But trading, when it comes to all, is actually a fantastic way to do it. But very few people understands this. And I have to say that I spent 17 years in this business now, learning, doing my mistakes. And I could say that for my sake, that I just wish that I was able to meet me the way I am now, with this experience I have now, um, meet me, um, and how do you say, being able to benefit from all the experience I have now. And that's why it's actually a very good thing to get a mentor equivalent to me who has this experience, who has been through this row of losses and learning and repeating, instead of you, let's say, try to learn for somebody else who is on the same level like you, which is really pretty hard. Um, so so I can only encourage you guys to seek help, or at least one of the good things I could encourage you to is actually to found an how do you say, an accountability partner who can hold you to your own word in your own trading plan. But believe me, if you look at the potential of day trading, of course there's also potential for losing. I completely admit that. But if you look at the potential, it's still really high, and even only for one single trade per day. It doesn't have to be several trades. It doesn't have to, how do you say, the result doesn't have to come that fast, because accumulated over time, it can actually amount to much more than you think. But I also do encourage you guys, when you now listen to this smaller podcast version, to, if you're going to search for any mentors, that you really put the emphasis on letting them show you how they trade live as it happens, not by some payment wall of a Discord group or anything like that, but actually say, show me how you trade live, show me how you manage the trade, even if you lose the trade. Because just because you're a mentor or whatever doesn't mean that you don't lose a trade. Everybody loses a trade. The professional loses trade. The difference is just the professional, they lose fewer trades than the amateurs do. So that's my 5 cents from now. Thank you for watching.